This recipe is for fruity muffins, and the first thing you need to do is get all of your ingredients in the right place. So in my bowl I have 250 grams of self-raising flour, and I need to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder to this. Muffins have a really high rise, and we're only going to achieve this if we give them a little bit of extra baking powder. So level teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of baking powder in there, and I've put it in a sieve so that I can mix the baking powder into the self-raising flour, and it's not just going to be sitting in one place in my mixing bowl. I'm going to add my sugar to this as well, so I've got 100 grams of caster sugar in there, and that's, to start off with, is my dry ingredients. And for muffins you keep, to start off with, your dry and your wet ingredients separate. So I'm going to put that to one side and now focus on the wet ingredients, the liquid ingredients. So I have in my measuring jug 230 millilitres of milk, and muffins are always made with oil. Sometimes the recipe says melted butter, but normally it says oil. And I need to add 60 mils of this into my oil, and 60 mils is 4 tablespoons. So rather than trying to measure 60 mils on my measuring jug, I'm going to use my big tablespoon and measure 4 tablespoons of oil into that. And mine is a sunflower oil, it can be any sort of vegetable oil, that's absolutely fine. I need 1 egg, and again I'm going to put this into the oil and milk, so I've got all my ingredients, dry ingredients, together. And although it doesn't say it on your recipe, because I'm at home, I quite like to add a little bit of vanilla to my muffins, and again that's a wet ingredient, so I'm going to put that in there. And I just need to mix this all together, and at the moment I'm just looking, there we go, there's my egg. I just want to break the egg yolk, there we go, and then mix that together. And if you don't break the egg yolk, I have noticed sometimes when you're done you've got an egg, whole egg yolk sitting in the middle. So muffins are really easy, excuse me, to make. Just going to turn this off and check the oven. As I was saying, muffins are really easy to make because you just have to combine your wet and your dry ingredients. So I'm just going to pour, I've made a well in the middle of my bowl, and I'm going to pour all of my wet ingredients into that mixture. On your recipe it says to mix this until you've got a smooth batter, which I'm not sure. I'm going to show you the difference it makes if you've got a smooth batter or a lumpy batter, but I normally do my muffins until I have a slightly lumpy batter. I want to see that all the dry ingredients are gone, but I would stop mixing now. And I don't know if you can see, but I've still got some lumps in that mixture. I'm going to add my blueberries and just stir those in. I had 150 grams of frozen blueberries. And the last thing that needs to happen is this mixture goes into your cake tin. Now these are muffin cases that I've got here. So these are muffin cases, this one, and these are normal cake cases. So your normal cake cases are smaller. These are your normal cake cases, this is your muffin case, this is a normal cake tin, and this is a muffin tin. So if you've got them, use the larger muffin cases and a bigger muffin tin. If you don't, then you can use normal size cake cases and a normal size muffin tin, and you should be able to get a dozen cakes out of this mixture. But because this mixture is really runny, what I like to do before I put it into there is to put it back in my measuring jug, because I find it easier to pour this, and I'm just going to leave a little bit in my bowl for a minute. I find it easier to pour this mixture into the muffin cases rather than trying to spoon it, and you want to try and get them about 2/3 full. So don't overfill them, but we want them to be about 2/3 full. And you need to be using up all of your mixture. I'm just going to add a few more cake cases and finish. Right, I've filled 9 of my muffin cases, and I've just got this last bit of mixture to do, and then this will go into the oven. This last bit of mixture, I've just beaten that a little bit more so that you can see the difference it makes if you have a smooth batter or a lumpy batter when you put these in the oven. But if I tip this up, hopefully you can see these are about 2/3 full. Okay, when the muffins are done, they're a nice golden brown. They should be well risen. You can see they've risen quite a long way up in the tin. I'll take that one out. So they are well risen. They spring back when you touch them, and they should be cracked on the top, because that's what you expect from a muffin. Where I beat the mixture a little bit more on this one, you can see, and that one, you can see they've not really cracked on the top. If you get a really smooth muffin mix, it doesn't always crack on the top. So what we're looking for is a really nice hot muffin. I think the oven could have been really nice domed muffin, cracked on the top, and I think my oven could have been just a little bit hotter for these so that they rose slightly more. But good golden colour, well risen, and when you tap them, when you touch them, they should spring back.